Shrutismritipurananam Alayam Karunalayam Namami Bhagavatpadam Shankaram Lokashankaram Shankaram Shankaracharyam Keshavam Badarayanam Sutra Bhashya Kritau Vande Bhagavantau Punah Punah Ishvaro Gururatmeti Murti Bheda Vibhagine Vyomavadvyapta Dehaya Dakshinamurtaye Namaha Om Sahana Vavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. The problem with this thing called self-knowledge is that even though it's right there in front, what is right there in front? The truth of myself as free of samsara, which means some sorrow or the other, which I always have. Even though this truth stares at me, I cannot see it. Because of what we spoke about last night. We spoke about two things at length. Agrahanam, not knowing, leading to anyatha grahanam. Anyatha grahanam means knowing in a way that is not correct, incorrect knowing. We can't here be complacent and say, at least I know something incorrectly. No. That's a very dubious satisfaction. Because here the error is a very costly mistake. A mistake centered on the infinite is what? An infinite mistake. Naturally. And so therefore I have to correct it. How to correct it? And here, the tendency of the human being, a particular tendency that we encounter in these times, kicks in. What is that tendency? DIY tendency. What is DIY? Do it yourself. Apne aap. I want to do everything by myself. It starts when one is 2, where the child wants to tie its shoe, doesn't know how, still struggles, will not let the adult even come a little bit closer. No, me, all by myself. And continues from this tying of the shoe, it continues to when one becomes a mumukshu. Okay? Continues. Unabated. This tendency to figure it all by myself. Figure it out all by myself. Do it all by myself. Because why? Why should I rely on you? Who are you? Why should I rely on you? How do I know that if you tell me something about me, that it will be error-free? How do I know that? I don't know that. So therefore, the DIY tendency proliferates. I want to figure it out. I want to do this all by myself. I want to have this. I want to figure it out. I want to just be in the place of quick, and finish it without relying on anybody. Okay, well and good. And we can also say, good luck. Because in matters of this self-knowledge, because the self, the I about which we speak, cannot be figured out as an object simply because it is not an object. I am at a loss how to understand that which is myself, which is not an object. About any object, I can have a lot to say. I can be vācālaha, means very well articulate, very well equipped with words. I can say many things. I can write a poem on a Grecian urn. I can write pages and pages and pages about why a certain thing in the universe behaves in a certain way. I have a lot to say about things that are in the purview of my observation, things that I can grasp with what are called the sense organs, means of knowledge. I see, I hear, I catch. I have a lot to say about that. And then, in addition to the sense organs, I also have a few ways of knowing. Such as inference, such as multi-step inference, comparing to something. All these things. So many ways of knowing I have at my fingertips, and all these are good for what? Only knowing objects. Am I an object? Say no, so we can move on. Am I an object? Are you an object? No. I am that which objectifies everything in the universe. How can I be an object? I'm not an object. What I am that sentient consciousness that objectifies everything in the universe. The only thing I cannot objectify is what? Me. Oh, so sad. Not sad at all. I need not objectify myself. This is why it's not sad. Otherwise it would be very sad. Not only I cannot objectify myself, this is understood. What is the second thing? I need not objectify myself. But the question is, why not? Why do I not need to objectify myself? In response to this question, I have another question. Do you exist? Yes. Answer came quickly. Frequent ashram goers, frequent retreat participants. Yes. Are you here? Yes. How come you don't have to ask somebody? You don't turn to the significant other and say, do I exist? Please tell me. Am I here? Please tell me. You don't need to know that. You don't need a certificate of existence. That is for entities like this ashram, the Arshavidya Gurukulam. When we file the papers and all, we have to apply for a certificate of existence. Does a human being need a certificate of existence? No. Why? Because I know I am. I am, and I know I am. This is beautiful. I don't need a certificate of existence because the I that I am talking about is that which gives the certificate of existence to all other entities without needing it myself. So therefore I am not an object. I don't need to be objectified. I am the very subject, the observer of everything, and the one that objectifies everything. Question is, how many eyes are there? Not eyes, okay? Yeah. How many I? One. I is always singular. I is not plural. Singular. You is pluralized sometimes, and then he, she, it, they, and even though we say I, we, but really the I is extremely special. Only one I. The I in me is the same as the I in you, the I in he, the I in she, and so on. One I. Many bodies, many minds. In fact, the entire Jagat is just as though projection of just this one I. It just inhabits. So then, the question at hand that we are discussing is how to know this I. We are talking of DIY. How am I going to know that this I, the one that indwells this body, mind, sense complex, and which unfortunately has gathered a lot of complexes. This I is a very complex I. There is pain, there is sorrow, there is fear, there is depression, there is anxiety, there is all kinds of complexes. The I is a very complex issue, very sad issue. So, both the I of the Upanishad, which we are told is free of samsara, is free of pain, is free of sorrow, and the I that as though indwells this body-mind complex, we are kind of familiar with both. In other words, we experience both. The freedom of the I of the Upanishads is very much experienced. Who says Vedanta doesn't talk about experience? It's all about experience. When is this free I untethered by complexes? When, if we ask the question, when is it experienced? We can say, in moments when I am not assailed by my own agenda. Then there is time to stand and stare, as a poet said. There is time to breathe the air. There is a little inner leisure to be able to smile at somebody, to be able to notice that the world is so beautiful, to be able to be free. But this I is very elusive. It comes, but it mostly goes. By the time I know it's there, aha, it's gone. And then, like the English weather, the clouds gather. Clouds of sorrow, pain, fear, anxiety. What if? What next? What now? All of them gather. And the I that is the most sought after, the I of the Upanishads, the I of the truth of myself, where is it gone? It's just gone. Is it really gone? Huh? Say yes or say no. No. Good, you didn't say yes. It's not really gone. As the author of the Hastamalakiya says, a direct disciple of Adi Shankara. Ghanachanna drishtihi ghanachannam arkam manyate atimudhaha. Mudhaha should have been enough. But here, mudha means what? Deluded. The deluded one is being talked about. So this deluded one here, atimudhaha, the utterly deluded one, looks up at the sky on a cloudy day and says, the sun is gone. The sun has been swallowed up by the clouds. Is that what has happened? No. Therefore, the author says, it's not that the arka, the sun, is ghanachannaha. Channaha, covered by the clouds. What is covered by the clouds is the onlooker's vision. A vision of delusion, a vision of division. This is the mistake that I make on the I. The I that I want, the I that is sunny, the I that is happy is gone. Overtaken by what? Pain, sorrow, anxiety. So both the I of the Upanishad, that which is totally told to be free of fear and sorrow, and the I that is, as it were, entrenched in fear and sorrow, both of them I am familiar with. The one appears to come and go, and the other one appears to be here to stay. The question is, which is which? Well, here we can have kotidvayam, two kinds of pakshas, two sides we can take. We can argue, no, see, experience is everything, and I am experiencing sorrow more than joy. I am experiencing a sense of bondage more than freedom. So therefore, the sad, frightened, bound I is the reality. And the happy I, the one that is there in the pages of the Upanishad, that's where it belongs. That's where it is safe. It is kept safely for many generations, many centuries. Because this is an idealism. What moksha? Who gets it? How to understand it? So this is an idealism. This I of the Upanishad comes, visits, goes, and the other I, unfortunately, is me. Does this sound nice to even believe? No. I may have come to this conclusion, but I come to this conclusion from a sense of desperation and hopelessness that I feel I cannot avoid. I am not coming to this conclusion willingly, joyously, because every fiber in my being rejects sorrow as an attribute of the self. Every single molecule rejects, every single brain cell, every single corner of the buddhi, the intellect, utterly and unequivocally rejects sorrow as anything to do with the definition of I. This becomes a dilemma. I want something I cannot have. I want to be free. I want to be forever. I want to be all the time feeling unbound, feeling joyous. But then, what am I feeling? That is the feeling. This contradiction, this double experience, the experience of wanting something that I cannot have, is something very interesting. It is actually the noticing of this becomes a very blessed intervention, because when I notice this, I see something wonderful. I see that it is to my benefit to resolve this apparent contradiction. The contradiction of being happy and sad at the same time. When I know that I am rejecting one and wanting the other. Why only individuals? Even pharmaceutical companies reject, even though they haven't studied Vedanta at all, the people working there, they reject the notion that the self is sad. That's why or the self is anxiety personified. They themselves know that. That's why there are newer and better kinds of antidepressants, anti-anxiety medicines. And then in the advertisements they will say, it will make you feel more like yourself. How do they know what is the self? Have they studied Chandogya? No. Have they studied Mundaka? No. But one knows. Just like the music maestro who is singing in a concert, but unfortunately has a cold. Terrible cold. The voice won't go, but already the dates were given and the tickets were sold. The maestro has occupied the stage and is singing, and there is a high note which he knows cannot be reached. What does he do? He points to it. There it is, but I can't go there today. I'm on cough drops. But you know that it is there somewhere. I know it is there somewhere. That is how the truth of the self, my friends, beckons. Even the most sad one, even the most desperate one, even the most hopeless one, cannot but be transformed by the Upanishad. This is why the study is needed. This is why it is not, as we started this class, a DIY affair. It is not a do-it-yourself affair. I'm going to manufacture my own happiness. Well, that's what you've been trying to do. How has it worked for you? If you say it has worked, then I will ask the question, then why are you here? To listen to a perfect stranger about the truth of yourself. That's when the ashram, the gurukulam, the study of the self beckons, when all other mechanisms that we have in our hands fail. The mechanisms do not work, and therefore I am here. And that is what it is, that is how it works. No other way it can work. That is how it is. I need help. It's a very intelligent conclusion. Not the conclusion of one who is a atimudha. The atimudha continues to keep on playing in the world of the finite, manipulating the world of the finite, trying to make it infinite. The one who says, I need help, is the intelligent one. The opposite of atimudha is dhira. Dhihi rati dadati. One who is buddhiman, dhiman. One who uses the intellect to know that everything that I have done till now has not gotten me anywhere at all. Therefore, I have to do something different. The same mistake, if I make again and again and again, that is what leads me to trouble. Let me have the buddhi to make a different mistake, perhaps. Let me have the wherewithal to take a leap here. I need help. I need help not because the self is difficult to understand, because as we have seen, the self is self-evident, the self is right there, it is myself alone. I need help because I come in my own way. I come in my own way. The infrastructure that I have, and what is the infrastructure? That I am subject to sorrow, part of the infrastructure. That I am subject to anxiety. That I should not trust anybody. That I have fears. That I have all these things. These are my things. That I deserve respect, manita. That I have done famous things in my life and I need acknowledgements. This is my infrastructure. Also part of the infrastructure is the identification with the body-mind-sense complex. I am so-and-so. I am the son of so-and-so. I am the daughter of so-and-so. I am the spouse of so-and-so. I am the father of so-and-so. I am the mother of so-and-so. I am this many feet and that many inches tall. Always they will add to it, okay? Yeah. I am this many pounds in weight. Here don't add, subtract. Okay? This is how it is. This is who I am. Soham. Oh, soham. Soham is a holy word. It's a holy phrase. Not here. Here soham means what? Hoham. That is what it is. Soham means etad deshakala vishishtah. Conditioned by this kind of place, this kind of time, then dharma vishishtah etad, this kind of dharma's attributes, this is who I am. This is my pravara. This is my description. And this description is dearly held. You fight off predators who come to even question this description. This description is defended. This description, these attributes are upheld all the time and defended against real or perceived marauders, predators, people who question this. Why? Because I have gained it with great difficulty. I have lived in a dog-eat-dog world. And what have I done? Gained all these accolades. I have become famous. When I Google myself, a few things show up. I have all these awards attached to my name. I have all these letters attached to my name. The name is there, and after that there are certain groups of letters. ABC, PhD, all these things. And this becomes very important to me because I have just worked so hard. Why should I give it up? And it is needed for me to occupy a space in the society for which I feel I am rightfully entitled. So the whole life goes protecting alphabets which come after the name. Whole life goes in that. Keep on collecting. And then what? Protecting. This is what comes in the way of knowing this I that is free of all collections and which does not need to protect anything, least of all itself. Why? Because it is not under threat. The I revealed by the Upanishads is never under threat, therefore needs no protection. It doesn't need to be manipulated, it doesn't need to be fixed up, it doesn't need to be made into something it is not, because it happens to be what I already am. It happens to be what I want to be. You ask anybody in any country, do you want to be sad? They'll say absolutely not. In whatever language they speak, they will just completely repudiate sadness. And yet sadness is experienced. How? Why? Why is sorrow experienced? This is the subject matter of the Upanishads. The sorrow is experienced much like the sun under the cloud. That's all it is. As though experienced. Why? Wrong identification. The identification with the finite, with everything finite, body, finite or infinite? Finite. Mind? Yeah, here there is no gap. Quickly it comes. Mind is that about which I can only say, never mind. Finite. Senses? Finite. All the things one has collected? Finite. All the things one is striving to protect from others? Finite. What do you want? Infinite. Definitely. That's why even at the 5th marriage, in the vows, the person will write, this time it is forever. What about the other 4 times? Shh, don't talk inauspicious things in an auspicious function. In India, this is very common. One parent says to another, my son, my daughter got a job. And what does the other parent say? Is it permanent? Do you want the job? This is my question to you. Or do you want the permanence? In everything that one does, one seeks permanence. It's not the marriage that I want. What I want is permanence. I want the forever. It's not the job that I want. What I want is what? Permanence. It's not the children that I want. I want them to be there forever. That's why we have, especially in India, difficulty letting go. We don't know. We are very good parents. We don't know when to stop parenting. That is the Indian parent problem. Apparently. This is the problem. Once I was talking in Washington, D.C., and one 85-year-old gentleman came and said, "My son does not listen to me. Please talk to him." "What is the age of your son?" I said. 62. That's when I said we have to have some kind of limits. Stop parenting at 50. Oh, you mean when I am 50? I wish. At least when your child is 50. Please stop parenting altogether. This is... So through children one seeks what? Permanence. House. Rented house? No. Own house. Actually, it's not your own. The papers are with the bank for 30 years. But still, own, mine, permanent. Permanent house, permanent job, permanent spouse, permanent child, permanently insane. That's what. If we keep on looking for permanence in these things, we can be certifiably, permanently rendered insane. This is not where it is. This is not where the permanence lies, and that is why Vedanta is not a DIY affair. How has the search for permanence worked out for you? This is all what you have to ask yourself. I need help is an expression of intelligence, and the Upanishad is the answer to this cry for help. The word shad literally means shed. You can say Upanishad. Visharati, disintegrates. 3 meanings are there for the word. Visharana, gati, avasanayoho. Visharati disintegrates. Like the fog. When the sun rises, the fog dissipates. But then if you live in San Francisco, then by 5 o'clock, then again what happens? Fog comes. In the West Coast, it happens. So is the fog of Atma Ajnanam, the not knowing myself, Anyatha Jnanam, knowing myself wrongly as a whole bunch of impermanence tied together, hoping it will become permanent? Is this Ajnanam and Anyatha Jnanam? Once removed, will it return like the fog at sunset? That's why the second word is there. Avasadhanam. Avasadhanam means uprooting. It's like when you see a, what is that called? Weed in the yard. The weed does not think I am a weed, okay? It's you who have designated this should go, this is a weed. And then I believe some spray is there. You spray. Dies. Then you say, ha, got you. Now my paved driveway is very nice. Full of cobblestones, very nice. 1 month later, what happens? Ta-da! Here I am, it greets you. The Atma Ajnanam is not like that. The Upanishad is not this foo-foo spray. No. That's why the next word, avasadhanam, means what? It uproots, unmulayati. Uproots means what? There is a root. And that root is called root cause. That root is the cause. Root eva cause. That is called root cause. The root itself is the cause. And that root can sprout again. And here the root cannot sprout. Why? Because it is rendered, it is killed. The cause itself is rendered disabled because it is killed, uprooted completely. What is the root cause? I don't know myself. And therefore, that root cause fruitions and flowers into wrong beliefs, wrong understanding, misapprehension about the I. So when the cause is removed, the misapprehension also goes along with it. These two words are very important. Then there is one more word, gatihi. Gatihi means going, gamanam. But it is used in a causal sense. Not gacchati, goes, but gamayati, leads. Because the question comes, okay, you're talking in drastic terms. You're killing something, you're uprooting something, you're disintegrating something. And then where will this lead me? What do I get out of this? What do I have to give up? And what if I give up these definitions of who I am that are mired in impermanence? Then I don't get anything at all. At least before, I had these list of accoutrements that defined me. I am studied, I am this, I am that, I am accomplished, I am a musician, I am a poet, I am a writer, I am an engineer, I am a doctor, so many things. I am a programmer, so many things you can say. At least some of the time I felt like I was a hero. You talk of disintegration, you talk of uprootment of all these things, of everything impermanent. And then what? From hero to zero. No. That's why the third word is very important, gamayati. It leads me. To what? Brahma gamayati. Leads me to Brahman. What is this Brahman and do I like it? Do I want it? The answer is a doubtless yes. Why? Because it is everything that I want to be. What do I want? To be free. Brahman, free. What do I want? What do I want? To be happy. Brahman, totally free of sorrow. What do I want? To be free of anxiety. Brahman, totally cool, not at all anxious. What do I want? To be big. The very meaning of the word Brahman is derived from a root verb, brihi, which means vriddhau. That which is big. Big means what? Is it big? Is relative, of course, because it is of a size. Here the big doesn't have a size. So if I say, relative means what? Let me give you an example. If I say, look at this big mustard seed. Relative. Among the mustard seeds, then I'm looking for the biggest one, right? Suppose I say, look at this big mountain. It's a different thing. So Brahman is what? Is it mustard seed big? Is it mountain big? The answer is interesting. It is mustard seed big, it is mountain big, it is neither mustard seed big nor mountain big. It is bigness itself, in which all bigs which have a certain parimana, a certain measurement, are included. But that which transcends all this, it is bigness itself, that which transcends everything. That is Brahman. This Brahman is I. So what does the Upanishad do? Gamayati. It walks the I, that is clinging to the body, clinging to the mind, clinging to the senses, clinging to all these collected objects, clinging to a junkyard of objects, thinking it is I, me, mine, all these things. From there it is led. It is repatriated, rematriated to what? Brahman, which is its definition, which is its abode. Now, how can you do this on your own? No, not possible. Because the one that wants to know, who is in Sanskritam called Pramata, Pramatru, Pramata, the knower, can know a lot of things. But the knower cannot know herself, himself as Brahman, because this Brahman is the truth of all objects, itself not an object. Not an object at all. It is, so is it the subject? We can even not say that. We have to go beyond that. It is that which graces the subject and the object, but without graces the existence of the subject and the object, but which is neither subject nor object. Not subject to objectification. And even when we say subject, it is just a relative interim stepping point. Sakshi, subject, observer. It's just a place to land before we go further, so that we don't get lost. That is where it is. It is a landing point, an interim definition of the I as the subject. Nothing wrong. But the Upanishad even goes beyond that. Has to. Then, how am I going to know this? In all branches of knowledge, Pramata reigns. Pramata gloats. Yippee, I got it. I know. Pramata celebrates himself, herself. Pramata pats itself on the back. Shabash. Yay, I did it. In this knowledge, the Pramata has to be swallowed up. If the Pramata stands apart from the Prameya, which is Brahman, then we are in a very funny situation where our own presence delimits the limitless. Brahman is limitlessly big. Brahman is limitlessness personified. And if I say, there goes that Brahman, what am I doing? Observer observed, dyad is there, difference is there. And when I am saying, there is that Brahman, Pashya, if I say that, here I see Brahman, look, here is Brahman, what am I doing? I limit Brahman because I am other than Brahman. Brahman limits me because it is other than me. The knower has to disappear. The knower is consciously, deliberately swallowed up in the process of this knowledge. One more paradox in Vedanta Shastra, it is a knowledge without a knower. Even when in the Kenopanishad the student says, I know Brahman, the teacher puts the student to test. If you know Brahman as an object, yadimanyase suvedeti, Dabhrameva pinunam tvam vetha brahmano rupam. Sit down. Shut up. You don't know Brahman. Keep quiet. Because you're making this very mistake of objectifying Brahman. You're making this mistake. If you objectify, then it is not you. It is other than you. Then how is it different from so many things that are other than you, pursuing which you are even sadder, even more anxious? How is this? If Brahman is one more thing in the world, this is what a lot of people think. There are so many things that I pursue and there is Brahman. That's why they come and tell me, Swamiji, we don't have time to study. So many things are there. This is the problem. It is not one more thing in the world. It is the thing because of which things are there. It is the source of all existence. It is the source of all sentience. It is in itself limitless. And it happens to be me. How can I, being this person who has morphed into this knower, the cataloger of objects, how can I know Brahman as myself? Without this knower be surrendering. The knower has to surrender. That knowledge which knocks off the knower is called Vedanta Shastra. Very, very beautiful. And this is illustrated very, very nicely in the Chandogyopanishad. Beautifully illustrated. The Upanishad brings in the place of, to occupy the place of the student, a highly accomplished, highly erudite entity, none other than sage Narada. Narada has a bad reputation. He is known as what? Troublemaker. Not a troublemaker. A truth teller. The one who stands for causing a certain agitation in the heart, in the mind, because I have become complacent and taken a whole lot of things about myself and the universe for granted. His very presence and his intellect questions those things that we take for granted. And when we are not ready to see this, it is easy to brand Narada as the troublemaker. Narada is not a troublemaker. He is a truth sayer. So whenever Narada comes into the picture, whenever the word Narada is heard, Naram means knowledge. Naram dadati, Naradaha. Whenever the word Narada is heard, be prepared for a total transformation. If you are ready, the blessings of this sage will enable that to happen for sure. Why didn't you tell me before? I would have closed my ears before hearing the word Narada. Oops. That's all I have to say. Here, in the place of the protagonist, our hero stands Narada. Very, very, very highly accomplished, very erudite, and we'll see. He himself will give a list of his accomplishments. All his degrees, all his pedigrees, he will only give. We will see that. But he too is in the need of a teacher. All this erudition, all the things by way of knowledge that he has collected, makes him understand that he cannot drop the knower as long as he stands in relationship to these accomplishments. And he also understands one more thing. I am still subject to sorrow, which is a very, very, very important, what is that? Very, very important milestone in this journey, in this search. That means what? I have studied so much. I have gained so much. I lack nothing. I have everything that I want. I have everything that most other people also want. Still, I am subject to sorrow. What does that tell us? It tells us two things. One is all these things, places, situations, collections, do not dispel the sorrow, at least not permanently. Thing number one. Point number two, it also tells something about my quest itself thus far. That everything that I have done in my life is in order to remove sorrow. This is a very, very important conclusion. This is very mind-boggling, very, very beautiful to understand. Everything that I have done, every single thing that I have done is to keep the sorrow away, is to get rid of sorrow. Only problem is sadhana, sadhya, asambandha. What is that? The means and the ends do not match. It's like a person wanting to go to San Francisco, but when the plane lands, the flight attendant announces, "Welcome to New York." Ayyo, what happened? I wanted to go to San Francisco. Bewildered, I look. Where? Where did San Francisco go? Okay, I'll get down here. All right. I'll see the sights and sounds. Maybe I'll just do this. Few days later, I catch the plane again. Because I have a certain resilience. I really want to go to San Francisco. Next time also same thing happens. Welcome to New York. What? Not again? Yes, again. And again. And again. And again. And again. And again. We can keep doing this in infinite regress. What is the problem here? What should I blame? Not the destination and the means. There is a mismatch. Mismatch between the means and the end. The end is called sadhya, the means are called sadhana. Sadhana, sadhya, asambandha. The means have nothing to do with the end. They are not connecting me to the end. They are leading me to another end called dead end. That is what it is doing. One time, theek hai. The second time, annoying, but okay. Third time, fourth time, fifth time, sixth time, seventh time, eighth time. Keeping on doing this life after life after life, inside each life, and then in between, betwixt and between, I am always wanting to go to San Francisco, but not knowing how. This is the problem. And so therefore, in the what is exemplified in the Darshtanta, San Francisco stands for getting rid of sorrow. I never reach it. Why? Because the means that I deploy are not in keeping with the end. But how do you say that? I am trying to remove sorrow. That's why I see so many movies. Because for 2 hours, or if it is a Bollywood movie, 3 hours, I am away from sorrow. I don't have mismatch between the means and the ends. What are you talking about? I know I'll go to Bollywood movie and I'll feel happy. I know that. But a sad person went to the movie, correct? And then who comes back? Sad person. Vapas aa gaya. Maybe the high of having seen the movie lasts for 1 more hour. Let's be generous. Because, we always get the, the accusation, oh, the sannyasis are so anti-samsara and anti-movies and anti-this. Okay, 2 more hours you will be happy, 1 more hour you will be happy. After that what? Sad. Everybody's name should be Sadananda. Yes. Sada Sadananda. Once I had to, in an interfaith meeting which I had organized, I had to introduce one Swami that was coming. So I said, sure, I'll introduce him. What is his name? And the American on the other end of the phone said, let me see. His name is Sadananda. I said, no, that cannot be right. Sadananda. But here, I am Sadananda. The Ananda, which is me, has, mired as it were, in sadness. So it's not the right means. Definitely it's not the right means. It's not taking me to the correct end. So what is the problem here? I'm trying to fix a problem that doesn't exist. This is the problem. Here the self reveals, the self of the Upanishad reveals itself as totally free from sorrow. What am I trying to remove? A non-existent sorrow I'm trying to remove. How can the sadhana and sadhya be matched? Not at all possible. So what are you saying? Sorrow is real? Sorrow is unreal? If sorrow is unreal, it cannot be removed. It will be like Lady Macbeth syndrome. She was keeping on trying to remove blood spots that was just in her imagination because of her own guilt of having commissioned the murder of her brother-in-law so that the husband could become king. A non-existent sorrow cannot be removed. Okay, then sorrow is real. It is existent. If it is existent also, it cannot be removed. Then what are you saying this the Upanishad does? How will it, so if the sorrow is real, it need not be removed. If the sorrow is real, it cannot be removed. If the sorrow is unreal, then what? It need not be removed. Then what are we doing? Let's find out in the evening class. Om Purnamadav Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.